Please wait. Hey, what is up, guys? Here we are yet again.
We are
Uh,
on time.
we
On
are
time and under budget.
on time, under budget, and have been replaced by AI.
And that's why the government is in control of the cheese industry. All right. My name is Austin.
My name is Josiah.
Oh boy, this is a cold start, ladies and gentlemen. We
Cold,
are the
cold as ice.
we are the Super Cinema Bros. When we say bros, um we're not just saying like Super Mario Bros. Like we're using it the way that like to quote Zoolander, we're using it like black people use it. We feel like it's more
Yeah,
meaningful that
yeah.
way. So
Nintendo, don't attack us for patenting this stuff, please.
the fact that we
We
haven't
love
been
we
attacked
love you guys.
by Nintendo of America is just further evidence that they are asleep at the wheel.
There will be no catching of monsters with spherical objects here. Although technically, I
Dun,
guess we
dun,
could. I
dun,
don't
dun,
know,
dun.
but yeah, that's another podcast. Y'all excited for Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie? I mean, come on though. It's got
Man,
our
they are
favorite
burning through
girl.
IP. They are burning through IP in like the worst way. They should really be piecemealing all of this.
Hmm.
Okay, listen,
Hmm.
listen. If you
Hmm.
guys want to
Hmm.
go back and do the deep dive, we talked about this in our review of Super Mario Brothers.
We did.
Um, I have lamented the way that like Rainbow Road in the first movie. Are you insane? Like, why would you throw all that out in the first installment?
I don't know.
Wh- why are you acting like this movie isn't gonna make money, that people aren't going to go see it? The Mario Brothers 3D animated movies have been so mishandled already just in the first installment. It's crazy. Um, Now they're doing Galaxy. Like they have Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, Super Mario Brothers 1. Like you have a trajectory that you could follow very, very easily. Why are they
You could.
doing
You
this?
could.
This
You
is
could.
so bad.
They gotta do what's
Um,
relevant. That's why they had the cat outfit from
no,
what was it, Super Mario Bros.
no.
3D World.
Everything you just said is wrong. No, no.
You know what? Look,
Uh,
to be devil's advocate, this time around, they've relaunched a package deal of Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2 to sell for half a year or more before the movie comes out.
no, no. Listen, man, they should have called. I was available. They should have called. I could have given them masterpieces. And
We both
man,
waited
what
by the
they're
phone for a number of months. Yeah.
bro, I lost friends. Like it's a whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Hey man,
Anyway,
now we have proof that the minions of Illumination are the ones at the helm over there.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
They know how to make money though, I can't lie.
Yeah, but they don't know how to research a Super Mario Brothers game apparently before they go into pre-production.
Thank you guys. This has
This
been
is
our review of Super Mario and its movies handled by Nintendo. We
yeah.
are gonna
You
head
might
on
call
out.
you you might call Super Mario the original Running Man.
Yeah.
Um, which leads us to my question, Josiah. What film are we reviewing this evening?
We are talking
That's
about this
hang on,
little
before you say that, like I either want to congratulate myself or apologize for that segue I just did right now.
yeah.
I don't know how good or bad it is. So let us know in the comments.
Okay. Hey,
I'm
we got yeah, the live chat session right now. Right before we head on over to our movie, I just wanted to drop that truth bomb of Brie Larson's playing Rosalina. It might actually be good this time.
I mean, all right.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. So keep it real. Uh, 2026 has told us I like The Running Man, and so far it's only May. Uh, it's only made
It's only made
$28
28
million.
million.
It's only 28 million.
Okay, first of all, I want to give a special shout out to Keep It Real is Real 2026. He's shown us a lot of love in the comment
Yes,
section on
you have.
on a few different reviews that we did. So we're so glad to have you. Shout out to you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to it this evening. Um, yeah, always happy to shout people out when we can. So, um, without further ado, Mr. Josiah, which film do we have on the docket this evening?
Y'all guessed it. We're talking about Glenn Powell, The Running Man, right here. Edgar Wright movie. His I think his first since Baby Driver. I mean, they comment Baby Driver here. Yeah, just watched it this past. What was it? Sunday. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, I saw it on Saturday. I saw it on Saturday. Yeah, I saw it on Saturday. So, all right.
Thank you. Keep it
This
real.
time,
We appreciate what you're doing. You're supporting us here at what feels very much like at the beginning of our cast here, literally
our
today, but then
journey,
also our journey as a whole. Appreciate your
our
support.
ascent to greatness. Thank you, sir. All right. I will read our spoiler-free review.
All right.
So let me get that. So far, we are in the spoiler-free mode. So let me give you this spoiler. Okay. Reviews are kind of a gray area as far as how much of a spoiler they are, as are trailers themselves. So just bear with us. This is a good summary of the movie. This is our synopsis. So The Running Man, and this is the 2025 film, not to be confused with the 1987 film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. More on that later. The Running Man is set in a near future dystopian America ruled by a powerful media network that maintains control through entertainment and propaganda. The population, living largely in poverty with limited access to basic necessities, is kept pacified by violent reality shows broadcast on their Freevee TVs. The network's flagship program is The Running Man, a deadly game show where contestants called runners can win $1 billion if they survive 30 days while being hunted by the network's professional killers and ordinary citizens. Ben Richards, a desperate blue collar worker from the slums, volunteers for the show when he's unable to afford life saving medication for his sick infant daughter, accepting the network's offer of an advance payment and protection for his family in exchange for becoming a runner. The film explores themes of media manipulation, class warfare, and authoritarian control in a society where entertainment serves as a tool of oppression. As Ben navigates the deadly game with its strict rules, he begins to encounter people who reveal the extent of the network's propaganda and deception. The story examines how reality can be distorted through deepfakes and edited footage, and questions whether one person's act of defiance can inspire broader resistance against a corrupt system that values spectacle over human life.
All right. Cool. Cool. Good. Good summary there. Good synopsis. This
Yeah,
one, I feel like, yeah, a little less spoilery than the last one. So some improvement.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
I didn't give away the credit scene.
Didn't give very much away.
Is there a post-credit scene? Anyway,
Yeah, technically yes. Technically, I think it was like it went to credit for like a half second, and then it just did this like post credit scene more or less like right away. So it's not like a mid credits or a after credits, but I guess you did ask post credits. Yeah, there is a credit scene, but it's at the very beginning, basically. Anyways,
Yeah. All right. It's like a pre-credit scene, maybe.
hmm
Spoiler alert. All
so
right.
one thing
So
I did want to touch on just very briefly, and has no effect on my thought of the whole movie, but as y'all know, going on this journey, uh, I already told you, my wife and I, we want to bring in our little one into the theater, navigate the ins and outs of being good and gracious theater going patrons with a little one. We've had no complaints just yet. But I was, I'm always a little bit nervous to kind of like navigate getting around people. We sit on the end and we sit in like in the back and stuff most of the time. So we're not like walking through an entire crowd of people, entire row of people. Anyways, uh, always a little bit like, oh man, is my baby gonna be? Is she gonna keep sleeping? Is she gonna just start crying out loud in the middle of nowhere all of a sudden? I was immediately put at ease once Ben was shown on screen with his little one. I'm like, you know what? All right, cool, cool. I got a father in the movie. Nobody in the crowd here can complain about babies being annoying because we got it up on screen right now.
all right. All right. So broad view meta analysis of the film overall before we get into spoilers. Um, what was your thoughts or impression of The Running Man, Mr. Josiah?
So overall, the movie did entertain me. Got to be a little bit honest though. I was a little let down by it. Now, I've not seen the original. I've not read the book, but as we do with all these things, you got to take it with this film. I would say I enjoyed the film when I realized that I need to not take it so serious, which maybe I needed to have realized way earlier in the film. It's got some great action. It's got some fun action, some good, entertaining set pieces in it. I think though, once it started to try to get like a little bit more, man, hate to use the term, heavy-handed in its delivering its message. It may have missed a few steps for me, but completely a film that I was entertained by. It was a popcorn movie for me. I was curious about like its potential, like moral and ethical kind of messaging and how it would have been presented. Maybe should have not expected anything particularly deep from that, but yeah, I think it was an entertaining film, but yeah, there are a couple things. But I think compared to Edgar Wright's like breadth of cinematography, filmography that he has, not one of the stronger films for me personally. Yeah, but we'll get into the
Mm.
nitty gritty details about that along the way. I'll shower with praises and stuff as well. How about you, man? What were your, how'd you come away from this movie?
My immediate takeaway is like this is a very, I would say, a very idiosyncratically Edgar Wright film. I was feeling a little bit of like Baby Driver vibes watching it. Uh, yeah, something about like the action and the suspense and the way that he does it. Yeah, this is a very Edgar Wright film. I almost feel like if you like Edgar Wright movies and the way that he does things, then this is par for the course. Uh, yeah. Now I did see the original Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but I don't remember anything from it. I saw it on TV. I saw it, I didn't see it in the theaters. I was not old enough to see a movie like that in the theaters when it came out. I saw it on TV, and syndication, like, I don't know, like daytime television. They were just playing the Saturday afternoon movie, that kind of thing. And I just remember that it had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Um, I can't remember if the set. I think the setup was a bit different. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember enough about it to really be
Mhm.
able to speak on it. But I was very curious to see this movie. Going to see movies every week, like I saw the trailer for this like so many times. I was like, I was just ready to watch it already. Um, Overall, I feel like it's a really fast-paced movie. The plot is very, very kind of straightforward, and yeah, I feel like it's a real popcorn movie. And yeah, I had fun watching it. I enjoyed it. Um, I wasn't bothered by the messaging. Uh, once you get to a certain part in the movie, it's like, oh, okay, they're doing this thing. Like, oh, okay, well then everything they do after that, it's like, oh, okay, that's where they're going with this. It's without again, not spoiler territory yet, but like the presentation of, I'll just get that. I'll get into all
In
that
the
in
spoiler
spoilers.
section, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
All
trying to
right.
think how would I say it without spoiling it. But basically, uh, the way information is presented is in such an over the top way, and it started off that way. When the Running Man game starts,
Mhm,
I'm like, okay, well, if that's the way that they're going, then everything else that happened after that is completely par for the course. And so it didn't
mhm,
bother me. Um, I have not read the Stephen King book, so I don't know how revolutionary it's supposed to be or not supposed to be or whatever. But uh, yeah, I mean, uh, when you, yeah, I'll save a lot of that just for
for sure,
for the
yeah.
spoiler section. But yeah, I think it's a fun popcorn movie, and yeah, I overall enjoyed it.
Cool. All right. So before we pop on over to spoilers, and we will. What's going on in the world today? Yes, yes. We will hit up your comments in half a second here. Keep it real. We need to cover that stuff in the spoilers. So right before we go to that, yeah, who is it that you feel like would enjoy watching this movie in theaters? Who do you recommend to go check this movie out?
Um, like I don't know, like your Marxist revolutionary who still shops at Target. I don't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The movie's not that. The movie's not like it's not that. It doesn't go that hard in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't even say the politics are particularly leftist or conservative. Um, People might disagree on that, but yeah, for people just like action films,
Mm-hmm.
suspense, chase scenes, a little bit of stunt work is cool,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like if you want a protagonist that you can root for, who against the odds, man against the
Underdog
world,
story situation. Yeah.
underdog story, then yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
this is a fun movie to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right. I would dare say, some not exactly the same, but some similarities to like The Matrix or something. So, if that's in your bag of things that you like, then I think you would enjoy watching this movie. So now let's make a cut here, guys. Look, we're gonna get into the spoilers. All right. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to hear anything, dip on out. Hopefully, come on back later. But we're gonna head into our spoilers section.
Yeah, so I would say pause this video. Don't leave us.
Oh, leave it on open page. Yeah.
Go leave your computer on, put put the brightness down so you conserve battery. Stay with us. Go see the movie, come back, unpause the video, hit play, and come join us in the comments section.
Mhm.
You might not be able to hit us up in the live chat, but leave us a comment. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear from.
All right. And now
All
into
right,
spoiler section live chat.
here. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoilers begin now.
All right. Keep
All
it
right,
real.
so
So you have said entertainment. The entertainment is cool, but the message is real. I relay the message to what's going on in the world today. Yeah, there definitely is number of overlaps in this film to what is happening very currently, very immediately. First thing I think about is media control, AI. Man,
Yeah,
beyond it's beyond deep faking now. It's not even deep. It's just surface level reality in a way. Yeah, especially the messages that he was mailing in that got 100%. Well, half of the video got completely changed to whatever they wanted him to say. Man, it is a terrifying thing. Um, as our resident AI authority, Mr. Alston, what are your thoughts on all that?
yeah. So you know, deep fakes are going to be continue to be a real thing. It's it is as entertaining potentially as it is potentially an existential threat to our uh, democratic republic. Uh, and so, uh, you know, it's coming one way or the other. Uh, and you have to assume that whatever we have now, the government's already had for X amount of months, weeks, years prior. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. But as far as the messaging goes, like I would say that the Josh Brolin's character, the Megacorp CEO,
Mm-hmm.
the the man behind the curtain who's orchestrating things, the puppet master kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's so kind of one dimensional that he doesn't neatly fit in any kind of political camp, so to speak.
Mm.
He's just
Well, I mean, that's definitely part of the point. The this corporation has risen to such power that
right.
it is the authority. You don't even need the political camps or anything anymore.
Yeah, like basically like, and I haven't seen anybody trying to do this because I don't think the movie's that deep, but you could easily write this person off as a Republican, as a Democrat, as a da 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 da. The movie doesn't even hint at any kind of political leanings of anybody. It is purely class based, the haves versus the have-nots. Now, people can watch that and draw political conclusions from that, from
Mm-hmm.
their own vantage point, but
Mm.
the movie itself is not that. You know, the protagonist has a little bit dimension to him, a little bit of uh, color to his character,
Ben
but the
Richards,
antagonist, the Josh Brolin's character, is
Dan
pretty.
Killian.
Yeah, Dan Killing. He's pretty straight down the middle, just kind of your generic evil megacorp super bad guy,
Hmm.
corporate fat cat super bad guy, super villain. So
Hmm.
yeah. All right, so let's do what we normally do. Josiah, what did you do? We start with dislike first, right?
We often do, but we could switch up. We could do likes at the beginning
Okay.
here, but
So
we're still figuring out the timing of interacting with the live and not. I think we'll respond to a couple more messages here first, and then probably like every I don't know 5-10 minutes, get a response into live messaging. So keep it real. People like violence, straight talk, they don't really care about. And no, it's not coming. It's here.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah. People definitely do like violence. This yeah. I remember when Pride and MMA was first like showing up on the scene. I mean, this is a more one of the more recent things. There's probably even more recent things, but there was certainly a lot more pushback, a lot more comparisons to the Coliseum and stuff like that. Upon the violence, Grand Theft Auto, video games. There's a lot of stuff that does make bring a lot of attention and get people interested via violence. Um.
Yeah, it makes me think of like Jackass and stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
court jester violence.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh.
that's of one
What?
example of that phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this movie is obviously taking elements of trying to take elements of what's happening in society back in the 80s and 70s, and even current day, and take it to its furthest extent. Having the corporation just control everything, having you know just people's bloodlust be the simplest and most driving factor of money being produced, and controlling the audience and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
um,
So then, okay. So what did you like about this movie? What did you enjoy about it? We'll start with that this time.
yeah, so as always with Edgar Wright's films, you always want it's always fun for me to see his the way he winds up executing things, and whether this is him or the teams he's a part of or what. He always wants to do something creative with the presentation. Obviously, with Scott Pilgrim, it was like the actual comic book, um, onomatopoeia showing up on screen. Word bubbles and phrases, and cutting to windows and all that stuff. So there were a few moments that notably like popped up in my head of him like being conscious of how to visually represent something in a fun kind of way. One would be the moment where Ben is like he's gone to see his friend that wind him hooked him up with a few different disguises, and I think it's the start of was it the 12-hour period is done, so it's like early morning. Anyways, he comes up into the foreground, and he's in disguise, and then in the back, like right behind him, is a big digital poster of himself. And
He's kind of looking
he
this
looks
way.
exactly, yeah, he looks exactly like in it looks exactly in the direction of whatever direction the poster winds up doing. So yeah, he looks forward, to the right, to the left. A very Edgar Wright thing to have in a movie. So yeah, things like that. I'm forgetting the name of the. Oh, I have it right here actually. So he winds up meeting a very useful friend in the film, a brother duo. Um, it's not Ben. Is it Bradley?
Yeah, it was the little kid on the bike, and then his big brother.
Yeah, yeah. I'll find his name in a second here, but yeah, his brother winds up being someone that's in the know who's creating has a YouTube channel basically, putting out the truth of the Running Man, and is deeply into it. Has analyzed, I guess, virtually every show, and is trying to fight the propaganda that is the show with his own show. I think he called himself the Prophet or something. I'd have to double check, but
Yeah, it's kind of like
um,
resistance radio kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Whenever they showed his sequences, very Edgar Wright kind of presentation as well. Those were pretty entertaining to watch, and I dare say that they seem to have more fun making those those like segments, those clips, than almost the rest of the film. Just the amount of passion that felt like that it went into creating those scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. What else did I enjoy about the film? So yeah, I understand what you're talking about. It's a likable main character. You wind up caring for him. You wind up caring about his family. He seems to be trying time and time again. Can't find his place in this society. Every time he winds up being kicked out of a job and fired for a job for what was it, insubordination, um, basically. So yeah, whenever you have a character that's sticking out like a sore thumb. Like it's cool to see them go on their journey where they get to actually like shine in what they're doing. But yeah, overall, I think it's shot well. Um, Action winds up most of the time being clear. The characters that he comes across are overall interesting. Um, hmm, man, Coleman Domingo. That's what I will say. He, yeah, he's been killing it in his roles recently. he perfectly fit this character that he played in this movie. Did a fantastic job with it. Probably my favorite performance in the film. Simple performance, but he brought a tremendous amount of life and just fun to it. And yeah, beyond that, I was curious to see what was going to happen. I think the pacing was kept at a good clip. Didn't wind up seeking into any like just boring moments or instances overall. Yeah, man. I'll think of some more, I think, as we go. But let me get a few of yours.
What did I like? Um, his wife was beautiful.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, yes. Uh-huh. I'll cover something about that in my negatives. Nothing to do with her
oh
beauty. Nothing
no!
to
What do
do
you
with her
mean
beauty.
negative?
Nothing at all to do with
Okay.
her beauty.
But yeah, she's gorgeous. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
what else? What
I
else?
mean, it
What did I
makes
like?
sense. It makes sense. They did make her an escort, basically. But yeah, continue.
In a manner of speaking, she's like a hostess at at a club or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, was she doing stuff? I don't know. But let's see, what did I like? I like the pacing of the film. It moved at a pretty good clip. I like the romanticism. Like Edgar Wright is not afraid to be like kind of shamelessly romantic and idealistic, and to build a story around that. You might say it's one dimensional. You might say it's like, really straightforward and to the point. You might say some might argue that it lacks a certain nuance. But I'm kind of tapped out on nuance, to be honest with you. I just need my good guys to be good and my bad guys to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm kind of totally over the whole the anti-hero and the villain with a really good backstory and good justification. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying it's been done. Especially if you watch anime, it's super been done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I just need Goku to be Goku and Frieza to be Frieza. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can get back to that. Everybody doesn't have to be Vegeta or Piccolo. Although I love Vegeta and Piccolo. But we've had a good run of like Vegeta and Piccolo type characters, you know?
Yeah.
And we're good. Like
I mean, outside of Cell, though, if you go too long into the franchise, virtually everyone winds up becoming a good guy. But
yeah, keeping it to Z, keeping it to
mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with like uncomplicated characters with straightforward, clear, more or less uncomplicated motives for the things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be Mr. Rogers, like it's cool. Like you don't have to be a secret scumbag. Like it's okay to be a stand-up person, a fine, moral upstanding character. It's cool. Um yeah, so there's something about like say even with Baby Driver, right? Technically that guy was a criminal, but like
Mm-hmm.
he is like a criminal with a heart of gold. It's almost like he didn't want to make him a criminal, so he gave him a backstory to where basically he was forced into it.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert for Baby Driver if you haven't seen that. It's another fun movie. I recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like his romanticism in storytelling. I like that. I like yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have like a message about class warfare or whatever, it's pretty on the nose in this movie, and I'm okay with that. It's not even that I agree or disagree per se. I'm just on the level of storytelling. Like I'm fine with that. Um Going back to what I was saying earlier, it's like once it became clear that they're just going to completely make up a narrative on these characters completely out of whole cloth. Like it has no basis in reality. They're just doing entertainment for the masses, and in such a like gaudy, obvious, glaring way. Then like, okay, well, if that's what they're doing, then okay, I'm fine with it. It's not like he's gonna like explain his case and rationalize with the audience and say, no, this isn't an exaggeration. Like, no, this isn't that kind of world. This isn't that kind of game. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're just gonna make you out to be like the most awful human being or whatever they want you to be. And so once I saw that that's the direction they were going, I'm like, all right, cool. I actually kind of wanted to see how much they could like dial it up in the
Mhm.
film.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
host, what's his name? Not Idris Elba. What's his
Coleman
name?
Domingo.
Yeah, Coleman Domingo. Yeah, he was a cool character. What was the name of that food, that dish he was eating at the very beginning? Like something vambouche or something like that. Uh,
I
he
don't
said,
even remember what it was.
yeah, it was like
He
something
was
like,
excited about it though.
yeah, but then he just walked off because like 10 seconds later the show started. Like, wait a minute, you were acting like you were gonna sit down and eat this, but then like literally 15 seconds later the show started. Whatever, I don't care. It's
Bobby
fine.
T. Thompson.
Yeah, he was a fun character.
Mhm.
He was intentionally over the top, and that was the whole point. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I thought he did a good job. He was fun. I thought Josh Brolin did a good job. He was fun. Like,
Mhm.
it was the return of Thanos in a kind of
Mhm.
in its own kind of way. But
A little
yeah,
bit. A little bit.
eh, it felt like he was acting on a Broadway stage play. He was just so like, "Duh, Dan, see that right there. That's why you can win." Like it's like
Mhm.
very, very like over the top in the performance of it.
I love it,
And I
man.
thought that was
Yeah. It's
fun.
like it's 100% game show. 100%
Yeah,
yeah, capturing just the attitude and persona of a game show media personality.
yeah. I mean, and
I remember in
like,
Hunger
oh,
Games, yeah, we also had a main announcer character like that as well. That was I'm forgetting his name, Steve. I'll think of it. I'll think of it later. But yeah,
yeah. I never watched the Hunger Games, just for
okay.
clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what it was based on, which is Battle Royale, which is a Japanese film that came out in the year 2000. I highly recommend that film. That film was a trip. But back to Running Man. Yeah, I mean, the other runners, they were just as like one dimensional and formulaic, but it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, girl should have never survived as long as she did,
Hmm.
but somehow she
Yeah.
did. And then she gets blowtorched by these two kids.
I don't even I don't even believe it though. Like, yeah, that's one of the cool things about the movie though is like what is it that we are to believe? What is it that is actually true that happens, especially
Right.
to the runners? I mean, I could completely believe that last third of the film wasn't even real. It was just completely made up.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I'll get to that
yeah,
kind of
we can get to that later. Yeah,
in my
yeah.
negatives, but like,
Okay, okay.
even like I guess, is it a plot twist or just a plot development that the main hunter was the guy that survived season one? It's not the most surprising, but it's like, okay, that makes sense. I like that. That's
It
cool.
does. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's part of the reason why he didn't want to keep it. He kept his mask on. Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting. Um,
I want to call him McAllister, but that's incorrect. It is McCone,
McCone or McCann or
Major
McCone.
McCone.
Yeah. So yeah. So that was fun. Let's see. What's his name? The guy that played uh Super
Ben.
Soaker guy.
Oh,
Sa-
okay, yeah, Michael Sarah.
Sa-
Uh huh.
Sarah. I always want to call him Michael Pena or Michael Cena, John Cena, Michael
Elton
Pena.
Parkis. Yeah, I hardly remember them
Yeah.
saying his name, but yeah, Elton.
I mean, his whole backstory with his dad, I was like, I know you want to ask, just go ahead and ask,
Yeah,
because
that
they
was
just
good.
told like, don't ask
Yeah,
him about it.
he was
I know
obviously
you want to
looking
ask.
at that hot dog,
Just,
portable
just go ahead.
cart.
I thought that was silly in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is half a negative and half a positive. This guy was clearly ready for his Home Alone moment the with the authorities or whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
was dying. He was begging for it. He was
Mhm.
prepared for it.
Mhm.
And so, since that's who the character is, I'm like, fine, he, he's Mr. Revolutionary leaflet flyer guy. He's your Chomsky
Mhm.
reader guy.
Mhm.
Um, manufactured consent. He's that guy, right? So I'm like, okay. He wanted to use all of his booby traps. Like, I'm not mad at that. It's silly, you know. Uh, Ben could have stayed in that house for the entire 30 days and made his $1 billion. There's like two different places he could have stayed for the entire time, and either you got kicked out because the mom kicked him out because she believed the deep fake, or like they called the cops and like they hit the alarm and like let them know they were there. None of
Mhm.
that was necessary, but the movie would have been far more boring if that hadn't happened.
Mhm.
So it's like, all right, fine, it's cool, whatever. Do you really want to watch him just stay in a room and film stuff? Um,
Yeah, yeah, that would not have been very fun to
yeah,
watch.
it would have been a lame movie. So it's like, all right, well, okay, so they had a couple options. Either he could have stayed there safely,
Mhm.
and the only danger he would have faced is dropping off the tape in the mail because the thing, little Amazon robot thing, flies away, which should automatically give him away. You know what I'm saying?
That
Automatically give
was my
away.
that was my first thought, but my assumption was it flies off every now and then to deliver the mail anyways. It did
Right.
it did feel like it was unique to him delivering that. And it, yeah, 100% should give him away every time. But I think they
Even if
wanted
it,
us to believe that it flies away every now and then once it's like full or
right.
something.
Oh yeah, for sure. I assume the same. But
Hmm.
even with that being the case, once they saw the tape was there, all right, just make a radius, just make a diameter. He's somewhere in this area. He can't move faster than this fast. Just look at all the egress points, look at all the road closures, whatever, and you just find where the
Hmm.
dude is.
Hmm.
So, um, so they could have made it that way. How interesting or fun would that have been? It's debatable. Depends on how they wrote it, right? But they chose to write it this way.
Yeah.
I think Edgar Allan Poe, whatever you want to call him. I think, okay, how would I put this? Let's say if you're a rapper, right? If you're a rapper, sometimes you'll hear a word and you want to make it rhyme. And you'll build an entire verse just for the sake of a line where this particular word rhymes. Because the challenge is in making this word rhyme, right?
Hmm. Okay.
I'll give you an example from a song that I wrote, right?
Oh, all right. Here we
Now
go.
the now
World
the word
premiere.
that I wanted now the word that I wanted to rhyme was Bubai Gawara. Bubai Gawara is a train station on the KO line in West Tokyo.
By
Uh,
Gawada. That's a good one.
Bubai Gawara. So Bubai Gawara. Bubai Gawara. I
Okay.
really wanted to make this work, right?
Boo by
So
Gawada.
in service, I'm going somewhere with this, I promise you. In service of that, I built the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So that Bubai Gawara is a particular reference point, right?
Hmm.
And so that's where I would go on the weekends to see my
I'm
chiropractor.
ready. I'm ready to hear them. I'm ready to hear the options
All
you
right.
came up with.
So so the verse I came up with, I'll give you a piece of it.
All right.
It said, I woke up in my shoebox of an apartment, like the opposite of a coffin, reading Bible verses in my iPhone, words that were originally written on parchment. Ain't got to go into the office, ain't got to deal with my bosses on my day off. On my way to the chiropractor, so I'm off to Bubai Gawada. Like that's just part of it, right? I wanted to rhyme Bubai Gawada with something, so I found things that rhymed or were close enough to
Mm,
it, right?
hmm. Okay.
So I did all that in service of making this one word rhyme because I wanted to challenge myself and say I can make this word rhyme.
Hmm.
In the same way, I think there's certain scenes that directors, filmmakers, screenplay writers, they make the movie for that one scene.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
actors will sign on to be in a movie to act and perform that one scene,
I believe it.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
it is my belief that Edgar Wright, and I'm speculating. I don't know this. I haven't watched any interviews or anything like that. I'm just
Yeah.
purely speculating. He wanted that Super Soaker scene in that movie. He
Mm.
really wanted that Super Soaker scene, but he had to find a way to justify it somehow. And so he
Mm.
found the way, with Michael Pena and the whole thing. He calls him, he has all the electric barbed
Oh,
wire on the ground, it's
Michael
already
Cera,
ready.
but we get it, we get it. Yes, yes, yes.
What
Sorry.
Michael Pena? What did I call him?
You call him Michael Pena, yeah.
I know, I
Hey,
swear,
hey, hey, hey!
in my mind,
He was gonna direct Ant Man, so he was gonna work
yeah.
with Pena.
Oh, that's the guy. Okay, yeah, Michael
I
Cera,
think
right?
that's the guy that does the fun storytelling moments in the Ant Man movies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does like little exposition with the little joke or whatever.
Hmm,
That's
hmm.
it. Okay, so I think Edgar Wright really, really wanted to have that Super Soaker scene. And so, like, so much of the film was built around getting us to that point where he could he has that cool, like, water gun, it looks like a futuristic
Mm.
Super Soaker gun, and he just wanted to do that. It was so much fun. He enjoyed it so much that that part made it into the trailer,
Hmm.
as did the poster scene where he's looking, and the thing's
Yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
the same way he is.
That was probably the most Edgar Wright, moment in the movie. Yeah.
I think he wanted that in the movie too. So, like, he had these
Hmm.
little scenes, like, I'm gonna craft everything so that it gets to the point where that scene happens. That
Mm.
that scene happens, right?
Hmm.
And so,
So this is stuff that you liked in the movie.
yeah, I like it
Okay.
when directors, like, or storytellers, songwriters, whatever, when they commit to, like, I want this scene to be in there. And it's a fun scene. It was cool. You was like, I enjoyed it. Uh, so yeah, I like that.
Man,
And
yet again, they should not have thrown that in the trailer, man. That would have been a fun moment to be surprised by.
I still thought it was satisfying. In fairness, that's a good scene to put in the trailer. It's like, oh, okay, that's going to be a fun scene, and it was. It delivered. Now, would it have been more of a surprise if I hadn't seen it? Sure. Like, for example, when he hits the alarm and said, "Hey, we're here," if they just left that in there and then not shown the super, like, that might have been again. Yeah, you guys, you need to call. Like, I can make everything better. They should have called. They should have
Hey,
called.
look, at the very least, they did actually technically make the scene better because they gave us the backstory of his father, and so we can almost assume that these are some of the very same policemen that turned on his father. So
Yeah,
becomes a little bit richer of a retaliation.
true, but nonetheless, it is completely auxiliary. It's fun, but it was completely like it. If that wasn't in the movie, I don't think it would have suffered for it. It would have been the
Mm.
worse for it. It
Hmm.
was good character development for that character in that moment. It kind of gave him a little bit of, like, dimension. Totally fine, cool. It didn't need it though. It would have been fine without it. But its inclusion was totally fine.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so yeah, so again, I like the pacing. I like the wife. I like
Her name was Sheila, by the way. This is
Hila.
yeah,
Oh,
the character is Sheila, and it's played
yes.
by Jamie Lawson.
Oh my goodness, Jamie Lawson. Shout
Oh
out to
yeah,
Jamie
that's right.
Lawson.
She also was unfortunately. Oh no, her character's cool. She's in the Marvel movies as wait, am I getting this wrong?
I don't know.
Mm, my
But
bad, my
she's
bad. I feel like I'm getting this wrong.
yeah. Either
Never
way,
mind.
man,
Continue. Continue.
she is super bad, bro. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. Killing me. Just drop dead gorgeous. And so I was happy to see that. And yeah, I
Out of
like how
context, man, it sounds like you're talking about something that was
oh,
definitely
super
not in the
bad.
movie. No, 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 no.
Although
I was happy to see that.
Michael Cera was in Superbad as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was like he was one of the main characters, two main characters, him and John Hill. But yes, I like that the director committed to certain scenes that were like his little pet scenes, and I'm cool with that. And Mr. Domingo did a good job. Josh Brolin did a good job. Sam Powell did a good job. Like everybody did fine. I don't think any of them were like Oscar worthy performances. I don't think this movie's going to be nominated for any Oscars. It's not that kind of movie. But yeah, everybody did it. Nobody phoned it in. It was good. It was good.
Mhm.
Uh, Not complicated, but good nonetheless. All right. What did you talked about what you liked? I talked about what I liked. Do we
I
want to get
actually do
into
also did want to comment. Oh, Lashana. Wait, no, no, no. Sorry,
Shauna?
Maria Rambo.
Keep it real said his wife was gorgeous. Agreed.
Mm,
Agreed. He said check Nuremberg. That's a good movie before it leaves the theaters. Russell Crowe's in it. Okay, Nuremberg. That sounds like heavy subject matter. I'm familiar with the Nuremberg trials where the Nazis were on trial for their war crimes. The ones that didn't flee anyway, as I understand. So yeah, thank you for that recommendation. But yeah, those are the things that I liked about the film. And yeah, did you find the name? Are you still looking?
almost. Yeah, sorry. Mm,
Okay.
mm, mm.
While he's
Man,
looking up
things
something,
are like miss. Yeah, they have. Man, this is so depressing. I mean, it's the internet, I guess, but they have like the wrong images. Even like Wikipedia, I think has like sometimes the wrong images for the wrong person. Like, come on now, come on.
okay.
Anyways,
Um, yeah. Oh, I. You know what? There's something else I want to talk about, but I'll put it in kind of in a negative and the things I didn't like. Actually, okay, no, I'll say this much.
okay,
One thing that I kind of liked, and I'm not sure why I liked it, but they kind of make Glenn Powell's character, Ben, like you almost get the sense that he's like superhuman. He has like superhuman strength and like
okay.
resilience. So like he catches the guy who's hanging when they're climbing the kind of climbing rock climbing the wall, and he's able to like sustain him and pull him up. When he's in line and the riot cop is hitting him with the zapper, he's you
Yeah,
know
okay. Yeah, they did show that in the trailer also.
I thought
Yeah.
there was going to be more to that. Like even like when he hits the window and it breaks, like they were making him like almost superhuman in terms of like brute strength.
Yeah, that
I
was
felt
yeah. That was definitely a push. I mean, unbelievable. I think that what they were just trying to do with that was show like he had this rage. Um, he's somebody that was all he could do were these kind of jobs that were like putting his life on the line that would enable him to be potentially an amazing candidate for the running man. He was an athletic, specimen virtually. And so those are
yeah.
just like moments showing that like he has the chops to be able to go through this ordeal of the running man. Arguably, it's not strength that allows you to win the running man. It'd be really just intelligence. So he's not. Yeah, well, we can get into that more in some of the negatives. I was
Yeah.
gonna say though, within the positives, I think they captured the feel of like what a. I mean, it's very much like Hunter Games, but I think they captured the feel of what it could be like to have a reality TV series that was just lit like yeah, literally people putting people's lives on the line. Like everybody involved in it was gleefully murdering and watching the murder of individuals, and like they did the research on past game shows, made it feel like a game show. So I think design wise, it was executed
Yeah.
positively. The yeah, and then
Wait,
even
so
like the almost prison esque feel of that like district. They obviously had the scanners that felt very much like a prison, and then they had a little bit of a change, I think, in the like attire, people like inside and outside. Um,
right.
yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
the,
so
the the place that Ben lived just as a small aside, it kind of like reminded me of like Silo, so sort of a like post-apocalyptic, almost almost brutalist sort of design. You know, it's what does the future look like for humanity once, you know, almost all the life has been kind of like throttled and dripped out of it, and people are basically just like living in prisons, like, you know, for cheap or for all that they make, basically. Anyways, but yeah, continue.
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, yeah, going back to like his strength or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it wasn't so much about him being like they made it seem like he was extra strong or like stronger than average, stronger than
Yeah.
normal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of something about it I kind of liked. Like I just kind of like it felt like it was like a personality trait,
It
less of like a
definitely
physical
was.
attribute, but it was like more of a personality trait that he
Mm.
had that manifested itself through circumstances or whatever. Like he
Yeah.
would get really mad and like the way he would threaten people was like, I'm gonna flip this table and the reason I'm bringing my daughter with me to ask for my job back is so that I don't like beat you like really
Yeah.
really like just hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it remind? It reminded me of I don't know, like maybe like the first Rocky or oh, there's another movie where there's a character like that
It's a
that
willpower moment. Like, you know,
yeah,
I can't think
but
of the
but
film.
yeah, but specifically it's like oh who was it? Hang on. It was what's the movie? Oh, you know what? It's almost like you ever see the one with Jet Li? Where it's like
I
a
don't
guy
think I've
that's
ever
not
seen it,
necessarily
but you have told me about it. Yeah.
yeah. Um without getting into it, basically it's a nice guy, but like he has like extraordinary amount of like physical strength, but he's not necessarily trying to be like strong. He's just trying to get something done.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing justice to how I'm seeing it in my head, but like something about it just kind of worked for me. And then the
Hmm.
last thing I would say, the things that I liked, and this is just like an Easter egg. It's a send up to the original film, but like the currency has Arnold Schwarzenegger on it. They didn't name him or they didn't name his character from the movie in 1987. It just showed currency money, and it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so I don't know if it's even supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or if it's just some other character. They just happen to use Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's a total super obvious Easter egg and send up to the original Running Man
Hmm.
film in
Hmm.
1987. And I'm thinking that this version of the Running Man might be a little more close to the book. And the only reason I say that is because Stephen King is he's actually one of the executive producers of this movie. Uh, he was, like there's all the producers, in the opening credits.
Yeah.
Executive producer Stephen King. Now I don't know if that's like a money thing. I don't know if that's like in the contract or whatever. Because I mean, there's tons of movies based on Stephen King novels. You know what I'm saying? There's endless number of Stephen King based movies that are out. I don't know and I don't think he's the executive producer of all of them, but for whatever reason, he was the executive producer on this one. So that leads me to suspect or possibly think that maybe this iteration of it is a little bit closer to what he had in mind when he wrote his book way back,
There is a
however long
possibility,
ago.
but I think it could also be that, you know, once you're big enough and popular enough, enough of a star, like you can, especially in a project that you made, get an executive producing credit, even if you didn't lift a finger to do anything. Like
And see,
it's
that's what I don't know. I don't
because
know
that
if
happens with
he was more
actors also.
involved.
I mean, I don't. It's possible that they're doing like actual production work, calling up
Right.
people and making things happen. But I mean, I highly doubt that's the way
Somehow,
it goes down.
somehow, I don't think that's what Stephen King specifically was doing. What I'm guessing is if you to the degree that he was involved, and I don't know, all I know is it was the credit for executive producer. Uh, it again, I think this could be wrong because he wrote this.
Mhm.
This is a modern movie that takes place in a dystopian future, unspecified future,
Hmm.
and he wrote it at least in the 80s, maybe before that, maybe in the 70s. It got turned into a movie for the first time in the 80s, but yeah, maybe he saw some magic in the script when he read it in the screenplay or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought
Possibly.
it was an interesting note that he was listed because he's not normally listed as an executive producer for most of the for any of the films that I'm aware of that were based on his novel or
I'd have
short
to go
story.
look to know. I don't remember. I just started the HBO Max series, but I don't remember. I didn't
Yeah,
take note whether he was executive producer on it or not. I would assume
yeah.
probably so, but yeah. Anyways, all right. So you want to go first, or you want me to go first with some things that maybe you feel like could have been better?
I'll get mine's out of the way because I don't think you probably have more than I do.
Okay.
Things I didn't like. So with Michael Cera's character, there's things about it I like because there had to be action and suspense and chase scenes one way or the other in the movie called The Running Man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These things had to exist one way or the other. Otherwise, why even make the movie?
Yeah.
But having said that, as always, I'm always irked and annoyed when writers, directors, whoever, screenplay writers, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
when they write themselves into a corner,
Yeah.
a rock and a hard place.
It's got
And
to be
they
called
didn't.
out. If you feel like you need to call it out, call it out.
Well, no, no. What I'm saying is like it's kind of half because like I almost feel like they did that, but I feel like it was so intentional because they
Hmm.
wanted the Home Alone scene. Like they like Edgar Wright really wanted
Oh,
that.
I see.
It,
So what part do you feel like was them writing themselves into a situation?
like or writing things happen that don't need to happen.
Okay.
Like
What was that?
realistically, him hitting the alarm and letting them know that he's here didn't need to happen. They could have come to an understanding and he could have gotten the share of the $1 billion and he could have just posted there and hung out and it would have been totally fine. Right. But it's called the running man, which means this guy's going to have to run. And they could have found a more logical, sensible way to keep him on the run. But Edgar Wright wanted to have fun. And so he chose to have fun. I don't fault him for that. But just as a general rule, I'm always a little bit annoyed when they write character, they write circumstances. It's like,
Are you
oh
saying
no,
that because he he was very clearly like, "Oh, I've stayed off the grid. I have a way to get you to stay off the grid. You go to this bunker, you hide in this closet,
yeah,
away from my mom." Like he was doing everything necessary to keep things secret and to keep from being found. You feel like
yeah,
it
he
was
would
a
have totally
big
survived it.
flip. Yeah.
And so, um,
Okay.
it's like even like, come on, lady, you really you really think that the game show's telling you the full truth? Like, you're really gonna be offended by this? Some of the things happen are a bit convenient. I'm like, all right, it's a bit
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah, my
So
my
like,
assumption was that she like cracked once her husband was taken. And or she's senile.
yeah, but either way,
But
like,
it is ridiculous. It is unfortunate also that he's like, "Oh, don't worry about her. Like she can't hear anything." And then lo and behold, she's seen him all along. Yeah.
yeah, that I don't even mind that stuff. That stuff is just silly and
Yeah.
it's fun. It was fun. I didn't mind it. And again, ultimately, like the ridiculousness of it is in service of Edgar Wright having fun. So like it's half bad and it's half good. It's still my rule that, like things that don't need to happen, you're just making them happen and then you got to write a way out of what happened, right? Like
Hmm.
I also think he wanted that scene where he like flies out of the dune buggy and like off the bridge and hits the water. I think he wanted that scene. Another scene that made it into the trailer. And so there's a part of me that doesn't like that things are done just in service of doing this thing. While at the same time, one of the things I liked about it is that like he was committed to like this scene, that scene, and that scene. So it's kind of like it's a toss up for me. It's half and half. In movies in general, I'm annoyed when directors or writers do this. It just so happens that in this movie, he did it because he wanted to have fun with certain scenes, and those scenes were fun, or they were effective in what they intended to do, and so it still kind of counts as a negative, but I get it. Also, yeah, the ending and like, oh wait a minute, wait, what did we just watch? Did it happen? Did it not happen? Uh, it kind of undercut the story up to that point at the end, and then the
Mhm.
guy just breaks into it. He's like, oh, the guerrilla radio resistance
Mhm.
guy.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, that's cool in a manner of speaking. And I guess he explained that he had the escape hatch and he got out of the airplane and he survived it. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
all gets wrapped up neatly enough. And I was just saying earlier, it's like, yeah, I like straightforward things. I'm glad that we're kind of going back to that in some ways. But it's 50-50 for me. At the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's like it almost kind of sort of feels like they didn't know exactly how to get him off that plane and allow him to survive. And they didn't want to just full on World War Z it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in World War Z, Brad Pitt cannot die. The zombies don't get him.
Mm.
Plane crash doesn't kill him. Like he this man is invincible in this movie. I mean, there's a whole plane crash. He gets a piece of metal stuck in him, but he just walks away from a plane crash. So I'm glad they didn't do that, but they still like, well, I don't know how to end this movie. I don't really know
Yeah.
what to do. And so they just kind of made it like this weird kind of like goofy spectacle. And then somehow he makes it, and then he kills Brolin at the end, and
Mm.
he gets his revenge. Did he get his money? I guess he got. I don't think he got the full billion. Not especially not if he killed this dude. But I don't know. And then all of a sudden the public just turns on him. That was awfully
He doesn't
convenient.
care about the movie the money at that point. But
I
then
guess not.
yeah, I guess his wife is paid along the way, which is a convenience for him in the story.
Right. But not to but
I don't know
more close to the film.
what other game show like pays people like like as the
Right, right.
show is
So like
airing or whatever.
at
But
the end you,
anyway,
you definitely get the sense, okay, the daughter's fine. They're
hmm
fine.
yeah.
You know. Should he have believed Killian that he should he have really like he saw how much he was deep faking everything? Like, should he
hmm
have believed
hmm
that his wife and daughter were really, really dead? It's
Yeah.
hard. I don't know. It
hmm
gets a little murky at the end and how it all ends. It's like uh, it's still cool. Like I don't hate it, but it's just like I don't know. I don't know what would have satisfied me watching it more. But I was like, all right, I guess
Yeah.
if you say so. So you know, and the only other thing I would say that I disliked was that maybe the other two runners were just maybe a bit too on the nose. Oh, I'm oblivious to human nature. Oh, and boom, I'm dead. It's like
hmm
okay, like he wasn't even trying. Like this guy clearly wasn't even trying to play the game. You know what I
hmm
mean?
hmm
So like his death on some levels, like, well, yeah, you're just walking around eating a bagel. Like, what like announcing yourself. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Now, people are really
I
that
mean,
dumb.
there's a dark perspective that he was just suicidal, and this was his way to commit suicide.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with people just in reality just being that dumb and oblivious. I'm
Mm,
totally fine with that explanation. And that's basically what they were saying because there's like the three archetypes. Uh, but if that's the case, then the girl should have died just as quickly because she was, going to nightclubs, going to, I guess, strip clubs, lesbian bars, wherever she was doing,
yeah.
putting herself way out there, giving herself all kinds of exposure.
hmm
And she probably shouldn't have survived as long as she did. Um, but these are little nitpicks. I mean, they're there to be archetypal characters. They're not
Yeah.
there to have super airtight plot development. So I don't really
Yeah.
care, but I
Yeah.
guess it counts as a negative.
It's
So yeah,
true.
those kind of
It can be it's a little tricky for the film though, to be honest, because And in the story, in the game show, like we saw, they don't want people to just die necessarily right away. It's based on the ratings and how it's going. So I think the first guy, they're willing to show some comedic moments with him and then off him, and the audience winds up celebrating him being so stupid and being killed. Same similar with the other one.
Oh, girl.
Contested. So there's Tim. Yeah. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. I could find her name, but it doesn't even really matter. She's not that great a character. Jenny. Okay, yeah, Jenny Laughlin or whatever.
I mean, she's fine for like the
Uh,
character that she
so
is.
again, it's like
Whatever.
it's a weird space because we as the audience wind up seeing a lot of what she's doing and can be like entertained by her. Like I brought
Antics.
Grand Theft Auto earlier. Like it's 100% Grand Theft Auto. Like doing the most lascivious and hedonistic stuff possible that you could imagine and getting away with it. Like she's basically the Grand Theft Auto character in the movie, and um, but we don't know what the audience is seeing. Like we're seeing a lot of what she's doing, but I guess technically the audience is not seeing anything unless there's the like flying camera or whatever there. So it's almost like kind of weird that she does last so long. It feels as if she lasts long because she's fun to watch, and I guess they do get some like video cam footage of her every now and then and she records herself for 10 minutes or whatever every day also. So that I guess the assumption is that the audience is seeing some of that footage. Um but just to see her like every now and then just a little bit, I don't know if it is entertaining enough like to string her along as she does, but yeah. Um
Yeah, maybe that's something that I would have added if I was making this movie. Like more involvement. I mean, okay, the first guy dies in the first 48 hours. Okay, that's fine. But the other girl, she was surviving. Like it would have been interesting to see what she was kind of cut away to her a little bit more, knowing that she's not going to make it ultimately. But yeah, it would have been nice just to kind of see what she's up to. Just because, like, she's out in the
yeah.
wind somewhere, and we're not really focused on her until it's time for her to die. Like,
Yeah, it's tough though because you wind up then committing runtime to that character, and when it comes to
yep,
storytelling, she's not the main character. A lot of stories are more successful when they focus on the main character and filter everything through the main character's experience. So whenever you cut away to a supporting character or a villain, like you're taking the opportunity to like weaken your story overall if your main character is really the only interesting one of it.
yeah,
And it also could be rationalized as a waste of time. Like I'm always looking at films and wondering, when they do have those instances where they like cut to villains for long periods of time, like what their rationalization is besides just, oh, the audience needs to see these details, but it doesn't necessarily feel true to the actual like original storytelling. It's just like a necessity, and I don't know that that is necessarily a creative way to go about doing it. So, but
yeah. I don't
it's
know.
everyone's preference. I think it's more creative and more interesting to like, yeah, pick a character and have everything revolve around their perspective, but it's not like the correct way to go about it. But yeah, I mean, my guess was like Bradley winds up revealing and describing the three different contestant types, and whether they wind up lasting short, long, however long they do. He basically is like it's more or less up to the ratings and how much the audience is vibing with them. So it's entirely possible that behind the scenes they know exactly where everyone's at, and they allow them to be slipping away, you know, just for the fun of the audience. I mean, one could even make the argument that it could have been more entertaining for the idiot character to make it further along than he did, because it could be amusing to see him like make it by in ridiculous ways. But
He could be like Buggy the Clown of the Running Man.
yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
a One Piece reference, folks. In case you don't know, don't worry about
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, those are kind of the things that I dislike. You were talking about some stuff. Okay. Um.
Yeah, I can take it from here if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to be completely cold about this. I thought the last third of the movie was utter garbage. No, that's a little exaggerated. The action and stuff, and the McCoy fight, the plane stuff, had some interest to it. But I don't know, man. I hit a major wall in the storytelling once Ben got on top of that highway and was trying to look and see like how he was going to make it out. Once they showed like up above him that the spires opened up and that they're
Yeah.
picking up on his trace amounts of his DNA that was in the air.
Yeah.
That's a huge major moment of like, man, how is this character gonna get out of it? Like, this is absolutely ridiculous now. Like, there's literally no way for him to hide. Um, I There are some moments along the way that I did like. I do think his bluff when he was at the blockade with McCoy was was cool. That said, 100%, I knew that Killian knew it was a bluff and was just going along with it for the ratings, which 100% makes sense. Like, yeah, McCoy's in it for a different reason that Killian's in it, and so McCoy could be faked. Doesn't really make sense. Who's like, unfortunately, when it comes to writing yourself a, a scenario that's like not only utterly ridiculous, but is using technology, the highest level technology, where you wind up presenting this DNA that can track him. Like the second he brings up the thought, the idea, or tries to lie about having that black magic or whatever in his pocket, you've already shown us technology that's able to pick up trace amounts of like a person's DNA floating in the air. My first thought is like, this is a stupid way to go about it. Like they 100% could know in the snap of a fingers if the writers want to actually let them know that that's not true. McCoy just pulls out a sensor. You don't have anything on you, like, which is fine. Which is fine because it's ultimately been presenting his case of being more entertaining, uh, and Killian, buying into it. And at that point, it seems like Killian probably was already wanting to make him the hunter or whatever it was that he presented to him. And some of that stuff is interesting, but man, let me think that like once he got onto that highway, the series of events that went down to get him out of that scenario,
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. I mean, look, it's already there's already it's partially me being a little too hard, but also not too hard because they put us in a scenario in a story where this man is supposed to be on the run from every last person in the world, basically, and technology is far into the future. My first thought when I watch a story or come across a story like that is, all right, you want me to go along the ride and buy into all of the ways that the character slips in and out of danger and uses his intelligence capability to dodge the hunters that are tracking him down unfairly potentially, but my desire for that to be satisfying gets pretty high. And so when stupid events wind up happening and they fall far below like my expectations of like, oh, that's a that's a BS way for it to go about. That's just my experience. Is it like a little too scrutinizing and a little too unfair for the story? Potentially. But when you have overly convenient things happen, like the lady at the hotel he first checks in at doesn't recognize him, even though he's wearing the most terrible disguise possible with an obviously fake toupee and his images plastered all behind her and like in the room around him. Fine. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. But once you do that too many times, I start to be like, okay, no, no, no. Like my mind automatically, subconsciously starts checking out of stuff. All right, and that might be what you experience a little bit with like the McAllister Home Alone, sequence. That might be a little bit of it.
Yeah,
Um,
so I would say that scene was fun. The point where
dude,
he
yeah,
jumps off the bridge, lands in the water, basically gets out, and he's trying to follow a map to like an underground thing, to like
mm-hmm,
an underground bunker.
yeah,
But then that ends up getting abandoned because he's on the freeway.
because
Basically,
they wrote themselves into a problem.
well, yeah, that's
Because
yeah. So
once he goes into the bunker, he's supposed to be able to chill in the bunker. Well, not only yeah, like people are chasing him, but even if he was able to disappear, he was supposed to go into the bunker. And didn't they wind up saying that Elton was gonna like mail his video like every day through a different avenue? Well, Elton's dead,
right,
so he can't literally go into the bunker because he's gonna fail that part of the requirement every day.
right. So basically, what I'm saying is, from the time that he jumps off the bridge and lands in the water
Yeah.
to the time that he gets on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
narratively, there's a gap that has to be filled
Yeah.
somehow, some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So they made this whole little subplot. He gets in the car with the girl, and then they start
Man, it's
talking.
terrible,
And
man.
I mean, it's not
This is the
terrible.
worst. This is the worst sequence
Oh,
in the
oh,
film,
hang on.
man.
Yes, but like, it's not because the dialogue itself is terrible. What's terrible about it is that like, there's, eh, it's basically akin to like Return of the Jedi, which is the weakest of the original trilogy, right? Um, Once they rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt, there's a big gap between we rescued Han Solo, so we tied the loose end from Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Well, there's two loose ends, right? There's Han Solo was put in
Hmm.
cryogenesis.
Yeah.
He's been he's been taken to Jabba the Hutt, who we hadn't seen yet, so we didn't know who this guy was or thing was.
Hmm.
And oh crap, Vader is Luke's father, right? And that's got to get resolved somehow. Those are the two big cliffhangers of Empire Strikes Back, the greatest Star Wars movie that's ever been made. Okay, so in Return of the Jedi, they rescue Han in Tatooine, right? And then after that, what? Yoda dies, and there's a little talk. He talks to Luke about what he's got to do with his father, and oh yeah, I actually knew that the whole time. Really? It didn't dawn on you to let me know? Okay, whatever. So that's that happens, right? And Luke's got to get back and deal with his father, right? But that's all Luke. Han, Leia, everybody else is like B tier, and they got to do something to fill the time. Enter the Ewoks on a little planet called Endor. And that's where the cast spends a big chunk of that time. Because what's Luke gonna do for the next hour until he finally gets to go see Pops in the Death Star or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
There's a huge gap that had to be filled, and George Lucas and whatever decided to fill it with Ewoks, furry, cute little teddy bears, people. It's not the worst thing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's evidence that Return of the Jedi was the weakest installment in the original trilogy by far. In the same way, in this movie, the gap between getting off the bridge and getting on the airplane had to be filled somehow. And it was just kind of like, well, they're just driving through and people are supporting them. And then I'm going to bluff my way onto the plane. I'm like, I'm driving into the heart of where the enemy's at, even though I should be driving away. But I mean, not that that would make any difference because they would be able to follow that vehicle no matter what. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just like he had a really rough patch, and they had to find some way to bridge it, to fill it. And they did what they did, and it was okay. I mean, but it's clearly the weakest part of the movie as far as the narrative and the story, where the least interesting stuff is happening. Uh, so yeah, the dialogue itself wasn't garbage per se, not in my opinion, but it was
There
there
was some
because
bad dialogue between him and Amelia in that car. There
hmm,
was some
was
really
it
on the
bad? I mean,
nose. It was not good. It was such a lore dump. It was such an information dump. This man had to go from 0 to 100 with Amelia in convincing her of her situation. Now, I'm not saying that the pieces weren't there, but you're gonna tell me that this girl, I don't know, let's say she's 25. She's gone her entire life drinking the Kool Aid of society. She looks like she's the cream of the crop of society, basically. Life is pleasurable in every way, shape, and form. And you're gonna say from the moment that she's doing this, what was it, off ramp turn or exchange turn, donut or whatever it is. Not only is he able to run across the freeway over two parts of the freeway, get to her vehicle that's in motion. Now let's just let that superhero moment go to the side. Gets in her vehicle and is able to de-brainwash her in a matter of like 10 minutes, if not less, in during the film. Now I will give the film, at the very least, let's give her some level of intelligence where she witnesses the AI, rewriting her own reality. Fine, fine, fine. Let me assume she's able to grow at light speed and is able to recognize that she is now in danger. Okay, fine. Let's let it go. It's a big speed bump for me, but I will continue the movie, and that's what I did. It does not take away from the fact that it is one of the worst like choreographed sequences of the film, where then she winds up becoming virtually a Fast and Furious driver, like driving backwards or whatever. But it also winds up being one of the most ham-fisted parts of the movie, where the message has to get through to this character, and he goes from like a relatively bland, almost dispassionate, rebel to 110% rebel within the sequence that then tries to win her over. Look, I'm saying it's just doing way too many things at once. It felt like this last third of the movie, Edgar Wright was trying to get, like you're saying, from point A to point B, and was speed running that time period, and it had an effect on each sequence going to the end of the movie. That's why I'm saying, like, this third part of the movie was not good for me. It did things necessary for the story, but it didn't do it well. You know, we needed to get into the plane like you're talking about, but it wasn't satisfying that they just pull up to him having blocked the road. Does it make sense? He can't get away. Sure, it makes sense. He can't get away. They had need to figure out a way to. Yeah, he's like hiding a bomb, and like it caused me to continue to question why he is the main character of this film, outside of he was just simply written to be the main character of this film. Um, he wasn't necessarily intelligent about the way he went about things. He wasn't necessarily like, a friendly uh, guy that was like winning over people necessarily. He wasn't the strongest person. Like the way that last third of the movie went, and the jumps that they had him do felt like it could have been developed in a longer span of time. So it felt like Edgar Wright saw that he could have a movie here from a book, but spent all this time in the first two thirds of it trying to tell it in like a, but not thorough, but like a thorough enough kind of a way that when he got to the last half of his story, he's like, oh shoot, I only have a third to do this story. Let me cut it down. Let me try and do something interesting that's unexpected. I'm not going to have him go to 30 days. He's only going to go 17 days or 18 days or whatever. I'm going to tell the audience basically that he's the best hunter around, that, that's
Yeah.
been. I'm going to tell the audience this, I'm going to tell the audience that, like, oh, and then on top of it, he somehow has like memorized or discovered like the hidden compartment with the, of the plane, which, like you mentioned earlier, it might just be that the movie lied to us. Maybe he did die in the crash, and then it just gave us like something we want to see to have a happy ending. Because it's absolutely ridiculous that he then shows up, sneaks into the building, blows everything up. And that's even before I get to the point of, I don't want to be super dark about things, but there's absolutely no way the society was going to stand up. Like he inspired everybody in society to stand up, everybody in the audience to be rebellious, and to some degree even Coleman Domingo's character Bobby T to turn on his job. Like, there are some logical jumps at the end of the movie that I think are ridiculous. The sad truth of the situation is people are going to let it be. People are not going to stand up for necessarily what's right. That's like what the story wants us to know. That's what we would potentially want to hear and believe in our hearts. But like, for what he did, and the small amount of exposure that the prophet had to the world, they were not about to start a revolution. That's just what they want for the story, and it's fine. It's fine. It just didn't. It just is not convincing.
Yeah. I didn't think about it that deeply. Uh, I just saw that he had about 10 to 15 minutes to fill before he could get on the plane, and he had to figure out some way. And so there's just a weird stretch where like they're just kind of driving and they're having dialogue. The dialogue is whatever. Like part of I mean part of what I think the film is saying is like people's brains are highly suggestible and highly malleable. And so it's entirely possible in this world that they could flip on like hating this guy to loving this guy, right? That's the way I saw it. Is that realistic? No, but like a lot of this movie isn't realistic. So I'm like, all right. Um like the movie assumes that people are have absolutely zero inquisitiveness, save for like one or two people. And so uh, I viewed the girl in the car as like just as suggestible as like the people in the audience. She's just as malleable, and so um
Yeah, I
now
think part
again,
of the problem. Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish 1/2 second. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
part of my problem is there's there's a real art and challenge to adapting something from one medium to another, and so I think a lot of things can work a lot better in a novel versus in a movie. And so I think some of the friction I experience are those types of things.
yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, for me, it's like okay, the movie hit a slow patch, and either either the budget wouldn't allow for like another extravagant kind of chase slash kind of like maybe he ran into the woods or something like that and like had to survive that way, uh, or maybe I don't know. This is this is probably another case of like they wrote themselves into a corner and didn't really have a way to get themselves out of it.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so like I don't know, like the dialogue was fine, I guess. To me it was like I didn't have that adverse a reaction to it when I watched it. Um, but it's like, all right, they're driving through, people are cheering them on, whatever. We're just waiting. We're waiting to get to the next thing, and it turned out that that thing was the plane ride. and we saw it in the trailer. So I was like, all right,
Mhm,
fine.
mhm,
I I don't know. Maybe again, this is me doing headcanon. I just thought he was gonna be like sneaking around, like hanging on to the undercarriages of a lot of vehicles, trying to get to where he's trying to go.
mhm.
You know, he was a
Yeah,
stow. I
yeah.
was thinking he was gonna be like a stowaway on the plane. And then he kind of like is all that stuff. I actually would have liked it better if he actually did have a big block of C4. And like that, I think that would have added a level of suspense to it.
Mhm.
I'm holding on to the trigger, you know. That would have been interesting. They didn't go in that direction. It was all like it was a bluff, but yeah, feel like they weren't quite sure how to end it, or it's not that they weren't sure how to end it. I think the ending is actually fine. You know,
Mhm.
he gets, he said, I'm gonna f you up, and that's what he does. It was just getting to
So
that point.
you bought into, oh, he's gotten so good at like evading the authorities that he can then
No,
sneak into the building and and
nah,
murder Killian.
no, not even that. Honestly, like not even that. I just knew that at some point that was going to happen, so I was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
Mhm.
Um, I just think that right didn't know how to fill in the in between. Like getting to the point where like he confronts him and he shoots him at the end, and that's that. Like that's fine because that's kind of what I was expecting that to be the case. What was going to happen? Something akin to that. It was just like that space in between. Again, like the space between surviving the car crash and falling in the water to getting to the plane. Like I don't know, man. There just wasn't a whole lot there for him to do, especially if you created this thing. Oh,
The way it's written. Yeah.
it can subtly detect your DNA. Like, all right, that's
That's
awfully
a big
convenient.
problem. That's a big writing problem. And
Yeah,
that's immediately after he falls into the water and magically disappears, like they're not able to track someone that's being taken by a river or something.
yeah. So like,
They're
there,
just
there's a fair amount of things that you have to do. Or excuse me,
they're
let me
just too
rephrase that.
many things
There's
that you have to let slide for me at a
Well,
certain point.
yeah, I would say there's a fair amount of things in this movie overall that require you to suspend disbelief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
His guy
yeah.
Molly that he killed,
Did they
still
kill
willing
him
to
or did
help
they?
him. Still willing to help him. Oh, and they threw in, hey, look at this box. I was gonna bring you in. You didn't need to do all of that you did being in the Running Man.
Uh,
Oh my gosh, really? Such a painful moment to transpire in the film.
yeah. Why even tell him that at that point? Like,
It's so sad.
um.
Here's one of my bigger
So,
problems.
but
When so it is interesting that they represent them using AI to twist his daily messages. Okay, and they wind up telling this narrative of him being this malicious killer of children's family members and stuff like that as well. But maybe I'm forgetting it. What was the moment? What was the way that he combated that? Because they literally showed us that the studio is able to manipulate his representation. Is it? Are we just to believe that the audience they're fine with him being a murderous killer as long as he's continuing day to day? Because if that is the case, and they're saying society is completely debased in their mind, then there's nothing to celebrate at the end of the movie when society's sticking up for him and he's continuing to murder a part of the Killian and act like he's taking down the entire company or something like that.
yeah. So again, this goes back to my theory about it that like people were just hyper malleable, and
Mm-hmm.
so they could turn on a dime in terms of supporting people. The guy that they once thought was like a murderer or whatever, he's now like a revolutionary leader.
But how he was being instituted as the hunter by the company, like
Right, but then he rejected that, and then he escaped, and he
Not
was
that we
presumed
knew.
dead.
It was. I mean, it's just an underground. Yeah, it's supposed to be its underground movement. So it's not the company that the company wrote him as he
Oh,
was
no, no,
going to
no, I'm
become the
saying, like,
hunter.
so, like, the plane crashed or whatever, and then he
Hmm.
was presumed dead, and then he came back, and then I guess the prophet
Yeah.
deemed him a good guy, and enough people believed it. I mean, at a certain point, it's just like, all right, well, I mean,
So the movie causes me to ask too many questions, and one of the big ones that stand out is if the company controls everything, how is the prophet getting any of his messages out to like anybody? Like we see that they literally can't turn off their TVs outside of like breaking into it physically. Like how is this message getting out anywhere? It's supposed to be the leaflets that were dropped. Like that's how it is. It's like word of mouth. But then he's
I
presenting
mean,
information in videos. Like how's it? Yeah.
I
There's a
don't think
dark web that everyone's able to go and look at the information.
do people even have smartphones in this world. I don't recall seeing it. I don't
Mhm.
remember seeing anybody with a smartphone.
Yeah.
So again, I don't think that Edgar Wright was particularly interested in tackling those issues.
Mm.
I think he wanted to tell like a romantic story. I say
Yeah.
romantic in like the dramatic sense,
Hmm.
of a guy that accidental hero, revolutionary guy, leader that rises up.
Yeah.
Um, like the movie doesn't bother to talk about the aftermath of all that.
Yeah.
What happens? Like
Hmm.
he doesn't care about that stuff. So if he doesn't care about it, I almost like, all right, well, I'm not going to spend too much time asking myself questions about it because
Hmm.
he's not concerning himself with like giving clear answers on those things. So it's like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And that's why I say like look, when I turn my brain off and I recognize the level of interest I had to put into this film, I could enjoy it on in just popcorn sort of a level. But like it's a commentary of things and like yeah the way it was executed by the end of it.
I don't think it's a strong commentary as far as any kind of political messaging. It's too. It's too sloppy for that, and it's too vague for that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would say it had a couple of like dry spots that it had to figure something out, and it did what it did. Was it good? The whole car ride, like you got to exposition dump at some point, and that's as good as point as any. So fine, but eh, he was there. It's like you're killing time until you get to the main event, whatever that main event
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they did. Um, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of is what it is. Um,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
can
feel
let things go. I can assume he's the final guy because he needs to be because he was written to be highly trained, being, the kind of person working jobs that nobody wants to work. He's got this rage, he's got this willpower, he's got a family he's fighting for. So it's like he's like he checks all the literal boxes of like
yeah,
let's have this heroic character that's kind of not heroic also because we want to be kind of rebellious to be interesting because people don't like pure heroes and he'll be the main character of the film. Yeah, I'm sorry, the more I think about this the more I'm like disappointed
yeah.
unfortunately
Like again,
because even
like
his
when you were saying, like
personality like he seems so stupid sometimes. Like he'll have these rage moments and be surprised by things, and just like pure anger moments of like he believed the Killian in the company, and then they start showing some footage that's a little off, and he gets all rage mode. Like yeah. Anyway,
yeah, like but this is kind of what I'm saying. Like this version of reality, people are hyper malleable and they're hyper suggestible.
yeah.
Like just earlier in the beginning of the Running Man, they were talking, he abandoned his family. He was this really bad guy, but then they were going to turn him into like this ultimate hunter guy. You can't do something like that unless people are super malleable and like suggestible
Yeah.
and able to be easily influenced and swayed.
Yeah. But the
That
main
appears to be
character
the
was
world.
also, and I think that's a problem.
Well, no, but to me, like that's just part of the whole thing. Like he is like the audience in that regard, and that he was highly suggestible. Um, I don't know if Edgar Wright is trying to make it that way, but like that's kind of what he did. So I'm like, all right, well, everybody's kind of super gullible or suggestible in this world. So be it. Um, that's just kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
how I ended up seeing it.
All right.
And
All
the
right.
part that bothered me the most was, yeah, just like the end where it's just like, eh, oh, hang on, let's hi, you might be wondering how I got here. This is how, it's like, all right. Um, I don't know. I feel like there's a missed opportunity to do something cool with that. I don't know what that cool thing is, but like if you were going to do that, then I don't know, then like really deliver on that narratively. And I don't think it did that.
Yeah.
It w-
Yeah.
it kind of summarized things, and that was fine. And
The
then
tension would have been so much higher if they had him, if they showed like a couple more very interesting events where he was using his skills and abilities to evade, and then took him to like the 29th day, like that other guy or whatever. Like the fact that it
yeah,
just like the second the sensors opened up, it just like sped run it. I'm like, oh, he only
yeah,
made it to the 17th day. That's not interesting. That's not fun sounding.
yeah. I would have liked to see something where he actually does make it to the 30th day, but because of some clause in the contract, he gets
Yeah,
screwed, and then that's what causes him to like go berserk.
yeah,
But eh,
yeah. You know what? Also, the other thing I was kind of curious that was if it would happen because it felt like there was the possibility. It would have been fascinating if Killian was actually speaking to him like positively, like he wanted him to make it through it, like the things he was saying at the beginning, that we assume
yeah,
he's this just like evil person saying these things but doesn't mean it, but then he actually means it by the end of the movie, and you have like another interesting way to wrap up the film where
yeah, like kind of
he
like
he
Charlie.
himself is, I don't know, a slave to his own company or something. I don't know. That's not the most
Yeah, like
interesting way, but yeah.
kind of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where like
Mm-hmm.
at the very end, he turns out like he's like keeping tabs on all the things that fizzy lifting drink. Oh, we're gonna have to clean the ceilings, and like, oh, did you read this contract? And like the contract gets like infinitesimally small. In subsection 6, you broke this rule. You lose. You get nothing. And then Charlie returns the everlasting gobstopper, and then you realize it was all a test, and then he ended up passing the test because he was honest. Like they could have done something like that, like
Mm-hmm.
that might have been
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, they didn't do that. The ending is a bit convoluted. Um, how you get from point A to point W is kind of clunky. And so, yeah, the second half of the film gets a little bit clunky.
Yeah.
There's some fun parts in the plane itself, but yeah,
Yeah.
just a bit
To
clunky.
be
So
fair, I guess, to the story, I guess we're to assume because he died on the plane, then the sensors are turned off for tracking his DNA, and he's this master of disguise and evading, so he's able to get anywhere he needs to, whether that's going to kill Killian or that's going to go meet his family also.
yeah, there's a lot going on that doesn't get explained, and if you're looking for an explanation, you're gonna be sorely disappointed. So yeah, I would say I didn't feel that strongly about it at the time. Upon reflection, yeah, the second half of the film has a couple of really rough spots where not a whole lot is going on, and he wasn't quite sure how to end the movie,
Yeah.
and so the ending is a bit convoluted and just kind of clunky. So
Yeah.
that would fall under the negative category for me.
Yeah.
That's
But
unfortunate.
yeah. If you guys stuck around, to the end here, thank you. Whether it's online or live, appreciate it. Look, um, yeah, we're gonna, you know, it's our thoughts and feelings. If you wind up enjoying the movie, I'm glad you wind up enjoying the movie. I know if you have any comments on what we discussed during this, yeah, please shoot it into the comments and let us know what you thought. Love to hear your and get whatever engagement from you guys as possible. Um,
Yes.
we do have actually a list on our Instagram of our upcoming films, which will be Wicked for Good, that I'm actually pretty excited about, Zootopia, Rental Family, and yeah, those three. And then yeah, we don't know what's coming right afterwards, but it's probably going to be Avatar, Fire and Ash in like a week or so, like halfway through December. Probably around Christmas or so, maybe a little before Christmas, but yeah.
And
Keep following us
again,
to, find out. Thank you for, moving from Monday to Tuesday this week. Um,
yeah, had a special
our
event.
guy
So,
Austin had a special event yesterday, so
yep.
you know,
So yeah, thank you for rocking with us. This has been our review of The Running Man. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified on all of our future live stream reviews. Um, yeah, I'm hoping that we can get an anime film in there somewhere before the end of the year. We'll see. I'm
it
not sure.
was gonna be. I did see that Jujutsu Kaisen was doing a movie, but it's another recap film, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
yeah
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not. There's another actual like film from the guy that did Boy and the Wolf or whatever.
Oh, okay, nice.
Mamoru Oishi, I think.
Hosted that
Yeah, I forget the name of the movie, but
Summer Wars, and yeah
yeah. So I'm not sure exactly when that comes out when it gets released and how limited the release will be. But if we can catch that
yeah
and
yeah.
if we're able to do it, then we will. Otherwise, yeah, we have the next couple movies that are
Yeah.
lined up.
So Monday will be
So
Wicked for Good, and we actually did review the film, the first one last year. So maybe go back and check out what our thoughts were on that if you want to. Other than that, yeah, join us. We'll be back to Monday, this upcoming one. Um, yeah, and then yeah, just hitting Wicked for Good, Zootopia, Rental Family, 3 weeks in a row.
yep. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We're gonna have fun. It'll be a good time. So one more time, keep it real is real 2026. Thank you so much for your contributions to our conversation. Uh, I think we hit all of your comments. So yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate you sticking around
Thank you.
and joining us.
Yeah,
We appreciate your support. You've been very kind to us, so we really appreciate that. Um, I've been Austin.
I'm Josiah.
We will catch you guys in the next live stream review. Until then, God bless, grace and peace. Deuces.
See you guys.